Oh, there we go. No, it's Sunday. It's been a long weekend. It's just taken me a few more minutes than normal, I think, to figure out what's happening. So, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday evening. The sun is out. The tank is clean, as we say in my house. So, thanks for joining me on a Sunday evening. I thought as we move forward, if you can put your camera on, we had the opportunity to meet some folks at booths this weekend, yesterday, and it was amazing to see your face. So I'd really like to start putting names to faces if we can. So if you feel comfortable and can put your camera on, I would love it. I know all our chaperones would love it. And we would like to just introduce some chaperones as well. So you all know me. You've been with me since the beginning. I'm Liz, so we'll just say hello. I'm the group leader for Bus 1. So if you've been assigned Bus 1, that is where I'm at. And I'm going to pass it over to a chaperone who is also on Bus 1, Lauren. Lauren, if you could just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself and say hi to everyone, that'd be great.
So I'm super excited because this is my first Girl Scout trip. Woohoo! But I'm in the finance department. I handle all things regarding troop banking and finance reports. And I'm just super excited. Like, this is an awesome opportunity. And I'm just so excited to be here. But anytime you guys need anything, you can email me too. And I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. But yeah, I've been at council for almost 5 years now, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, and if you were here last month, you know that Lauren is our Disney princess.
Right.
So if you have any questions about Disney Tokyo, feel free to reach out to Lauren and she will hook you up. All right, number 3 on bus number 1, I guess. We're gonna go kick it over to Sue Stukas.
Hi, everybody. I am very excited. I love to travel. Japan has never, ever been on my list, but now it is. I still have to figure out how to use chopsticks between now and July 10th. Other than that, I think I'm good to go. Very excited.
Very exciting. And I think that's it for bus 1. I don't see anybody else from bus 1 on. So I'm going to kick it back over to Christina, who is group leader on bus 2.
Awesome. So I am so excited to be leading group 2, bus 2. And let me see, I think I loved going to the cookie booth yesterday because it was really great to finally meet some of the folks that are going to be on bus 2 with me and people who are traveling to Japan. I have been a Girl Scout for so long that I no longer say the number of years. And I have worked for Girl Scouts for a really long time too, so we'll just leave the numbers out of it. But I have not traveled internationally with a group of girls before, but have done a lot of other really cool things. So I'm super excited to share this experience with you and help make sure that you have the best time you want to have. And I have 2 great chaperones coming along with me, and they're both here. I'll let Natalie go first and then Linda.
Hi, everybody. Natalie Zampano. I have been involved in Girl Scouts for many years and have had the opportunity to take girls on trips in the United States, but just like Christina, never international. So I look forward to doing that and the experience of going to Japan with you. I can't wait to hear what you guys want to do and help make it a girl-led event.
And Linda? We need you to unmute.
The dogs have to yell now.
Oh, of course.
You'll have to come back to me. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll wait for Linda's dogs. Usually that's always the case, right? When you're on a Zoom meeting and you have to talk, suddenly the dogs are right there with you. I was on a meeting with somebody yesterday and they had Titanic in the background and I sort of made fun of them. I'm like, I can see Leonardo behind you. And they were like, yeah, I need a long, boring movie to put on in the background because my dogs watch it. And then they don't bother me when I'm on a Zoom meeting.
Really exactly.
That's a great plan.
Yeah. Okay, I think they're quiet now, but my name is Linda Hopkins. I am a parent of someone that's Caslin that's going on the trip. I have, well, I have taken a Girl Scout troop, my troop, on an international trip to Canada, if that's international. Many years ago. I have had a chance to travel internationally myself a few times, but never with a group of girls, like I said, unless you want to talk about Canada. I'm very excited about this trip. This was not a trip on my bucket list, but it is now, and I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to meeting some new girls and spending some time in Japan.
Yay.
Yay!
Very good.
And I have been a Girl Scout for many years also. Heading close to over 40 years now, pretty much. And I'm on my third round of leaders. So I'm now a leader for my grandchildren. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And as I kept saying all day yesterday, when people would come up to my booth and say, "Oh, I was a Girl Scout once," and what do we always say?
Once a Girl Scout, always
a Girl Scout. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Very good. So I was logging in so I could check our numbers, because I usually start our meetings off with it. And we have 99 days until our tour. So yay! Very exciting. I'm also going to put it out there that it looks like I'm going to go with passports. Who hasn't put their passport in? If you haven't put your passport in yet, you must put your passport, get your passport information into the website. If you haven't gotten it, I've talked with a couple of folks who don't have their passports in their hands right now. It takes up to 12 weeks in order to get your passport. So Lauren, you're a math person. How many weeks is 99 days?
I have no idea.
Terrifying.
So you're coming up on the deadline.
Let's see here. Okay, so 99
Definitely close to 12 weeks.
7, 14.14.
Yeah, so we're getting pretty close. So if you
Yes.
we are finance team, huh? So we're getting close. So make sure that if you have not applied for your passport, that you do it this week. Do it this week. It does cost extra money to expedite passports. It costs about $60 extra. So make sure that you're putting your passport in for regular time. If you're feeling nervous, if you're one of those nervous persons and you want to expedite it, feel free. But at this point, I don't think it's necessary. I think you'll be fine if you put it in this week. You will get your passport in time. Okay. Yep. If you're an adult or if you're over 18 on this tour, you should have gotten an email from EF Tours about your background check. So everyone has to complete the background check. Yep, it's very easy, pretty simple. So don't worry about the background check. It's not like a 15-page essay that you have to write about yourself. So if you do that as soon as you can, that will just expedite things as well. So passports, your background check, let me check my list here, my overview of other things that we've got to get done. Submit your applications, travel date and range. Yep, that's about it. There are 14 of you who have not submitted your passport yet. So that's the thing that you've got to do upcoming. Okay. So I think for last time we talked about Tokyo Disney, and it was an awesome presentation. And a lot of questions came up about other things, packing and money and all sorts of stuff. So I did a little bit of research on some of the questions that you all asked last time, and I said I would bring some more information to you this time around so that you would have more, I guess, maybe feel a little bit better about what's going to happen in 99 days. But I want to open it up because I think I gave you homework. Did I give you homework last time as well? Who remembers the homework and or did the homework? Anyone?
Uh-oh.
I should send out more reminders. I wanted to know, remember I said, take a look at the itinerary and think about some of the things that you really want to do, some of the things that you're super excited about and maybe want to learn more about before we go so that we know what we're doing. Kind of like the Disney conversation where we talked about like getting to know Disney a little bit. If you're a ride person, maybe taking a look at the app or taking a look at the website for Tokyo Disney and figuring out like what you absolutely have to do while you're at Disney Tokyo Disney. So that was your homework, but I'm not going to hold it to you because I do have some other things to chat about tonight. But if you want to put it in the comment section, or if you want to raise your hand and let me know if you have anything that you want to chat about, we can do it that way. And otherwise, I'll just kind of go through my list of questions that have already been asked that don't have answers. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to share my running ongoing page of notes that I've been taking with you so that you can see what I'm doing. The Word document in there. Okay. So this is my Word document that I'm sort of I've been working on. Can you see the Word document there? Okay. So I'm going to just kind of start at the top, and I've been like on YouTube and I've been on the EF Tours, our leader website that I get a lot of tips and tricks on. And there are folks that are currently in Japan from EF Tours. So I'm hoping that when they return in the from the May tour, or on our May meeting, I should say, not May tour. You know what I'm saying? I will have more tips and tricks for you as well from people who have just been there. So there are a few important things that I wanted to touch base on tonight, just so you know, and we've had a lot of questions about packing. So as I mentioned before, packing cubes are your friends. So if you don't have packing cubes, it might be a good time to look into it. We are only taking on carry-on luggage. We are not checking luggage. There are a lot of restrictions on luggage. Additionally, I copied this comment here, for those of you doing Japan, that's a comment from the Facebook page about the bullet train. And it looks like there's a possibility that our luggage is going to be sent ahead of us. And we are going to be on the bullet train, and our luggage is going to go first. And then wherever we end up, that's where our luggage will be. And I know that can feel daunting, but Japan is a very efficient, timely place to go. So there were some comments under this one, and some folks were like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be separated from my luggage. But it's a system, it's a whole thing. And the Japanese people are very like on the ball about stuff like this. So don't be nervous about that. I'm not sure that this is going to happen with our group. I just wanted to put this out here so that just in case there are no surprises. I want to make sure that there are as few surprises on this trip as possible. So carry-on luggage only. I do recommend bringing, and I think I showed you all before, a sling bag or a backpack. What I did in Italy is I actually smashed my sling bag down, my day pack that I wear, smashed it down, and I put it in the bottom of a backpack. So my backpack was my carry-on, but it also had my day pack in it. And then I had my carry-on as well. And that was helpful to me if we were going to be away from the hotel for like an extended period of time. I brought my backpack. If we were just going to be on the bus or doing something quick and short and I didn't need to bring a lot of things with me, I just used my day pack. So it's always a good idea to have kind of a variety of bags that you're bringing with us. If we're going to be on the bullet train for a while, you know, a backpack or a sling pack for the day might be a good idea as well. I did read a lot of comments that were saying to pack extra, like, you know, just sort of extra things, like extra articles of clothing if you can, because it's going to be very hot and it's likely that you're going to sweat through some clothing. So if you're that kind of person who needs to have a refresher, extra socks, maybe some extra underwear, extra pair of shorts, you know, an extra tank top, something like that. If you're the person that just can't be sweaty, it might be a good option to bring something extra in your day pack. I wildly have, I've been to Europe a couple of times now and I've overpacked every single time. So just, you know, keep that in mind. It's going to be easy to overpack, I think, when we're going on this type of trip. So if you're looking at my document here, it's going to be hot, it's going to be sweaty. We're going to be coming off the rainy season. The rainy season is like June and early July in Japan. So it's going to be very humid. I would not recommend jeans. Jeans are awful. If you're a camping person and you've done a lot of camping, you've done some hiking, you know that wearing jeans in the woods is a terrible idea because they just kind of soak in water and they don't dry very well. They're heavy, they're cumbersome, they're kind of gross. So I'm not going to recommend jeans, and I'm not going to recommend like your Old Navy flip-flops that you get for $1, you know, on like the spring sales and things like that. So I will probably be wearing some sturdy sandals. I have a couple of pairs of Chacos that I like to wear, and we mentioned Tevas before. Socks and sneakers are always the best bet for you to wear, just because they're very ubiquitous. and a swimsuit. I would pack a swimsuit just in case. I'm going to try to get us swimming. I really want to get us into the ocean. We're going to an island. I know that there are swimming pools at some hotels, and there could be the option for us to swim. And I want to make sure that if there is an option that you can. So make sure that you pack yourself a swimsuit just in case, especially if it's going to be really, really hot and gross and sticky. Imagine and walking around all day and getting super gross and then being able to refresh in a pool or the ocean. I think that would just be ideal. So just in case, I'm not promising swimming. I'm just saying, yep, fingers crossed. And when I went to Italy and Greece, all the girls wanted to go in the ocean when we got to Greece. And I told our tour director on the first day, and she made it happen. And we ended up going in the ocean, the sea. I'm sorry, there are no oceans in Greece, which she told me as well, in the sea in Greece. And it was amazing. And it was one of the best parts of our trip. So please do that. And then I wrote Turkish towels, only because Turkish towels I've just been turned on to. Does anyone have Turkish towels in their home currently? They're like a lightweight towel that you can use as a pillow, as a blanket, as a towel. I use them as like a shawl. You can use it as a shawl. It's very helpful and very ubiquitous, as I like to say. So it is all purpose. It's all purpose. So if you can get your hands on a Turkish towel, I would highly recommend. It's not as cumbersome as a terry cloth towel or, just a regular kind of towel. All right, let me check my chat here because I've been talking. Turkish towel. Yeah, I just got one, and it's not like a towel. It's like I don't know what it's like, a blanket. It feels like it's just not. I was imagining like a towel. It's not a towel. I don't know what it is, but it's delightful, and I would recommend getting one if you can. Anyways, so any questions, comments, any other comments from any of the other chaperones that are on the call? Anybody want to say anything about this part of it?
I have a question.
Sure.
It is, you said something about the bullet train. So our luggage is going to go ahead of us.
I'm uncertain. So the point of me putting that post in this little document here is to strongly encourage you to pack light. And also, this is why we're only bringing carry-ons and not like checking giant bags and bringing more luggage than we need to. We have to carry it. We have to bring all of our luggage everywhere. No one's going to be carrying it around for us. And there's I definitely know the bullet train has limits on luggage. So if your luggage exceeds the limit, it's going somewhere else. It's not going to be with you on the train. It's either going to go in like a luggage berth or it's going to be sent ahead of us. So the lighter that we can pack, the better off we're going to be.
I'm trying to get mine in just a backpack.
Yeah, hey, even better. That's daunting, but yes, do it. What size should the towel be? It doesn't really matter. Whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you can pack. I think that it's a great idea to lay out everything that you want to bring before like the day of our trip, the day we go to the airport. Maybe a week or so before, lay out everything that you want to bring and pack your bag. Practice packing your bag.
That's funny.
Yep.
I've already started packing my bag. That's funny. That it's a week.
And so the nice thing about that too, which I find is that I'm like, oh man, I don't have enough of like these kind of socks that I like, and then they're super comfortable. Right. I know they are. So I can either like do laundry or I can like make sure I don't wear that one thing that I want to pack with me. Like it's just a really good idea to practice packing before you actually pack. And then you can know what doesn't fit and what you might want to kick out. Let me see if I don't know where mine is right now. It's gone. I lost it already. But it's like the size of a normal towel, but it's very thin and it dries really, really, really fast. So I went to the YMCA and did some laps the other day, and I dried off with my towel, and like it was almost dry by the time I was getting back into my car to come home. So they're very good that way as well.
I have one of those, a couple of those towels that are quick dry and they roll right up in your backpack. And I got it at Walmart. I don't know if it's called a Turkish towel, but it's just as
any
good.
Kind of quick towel, quick dry towel, that sort of thing. Those types of things are good to have.
I read on the site that we didn't need towels. We could get them from the hotel, but if we're going to the beach, we want our own, right?
You probably want your own. Additionally, I have heard that when you use a public restroom or restrooms and cafes and things like that, there are no towels. There's no paper towels to use. So it might be a good idea just to
Okay.
bring something anyways, just to make sure that you can, dry your hands, or, if you're in a public restroom and you need to dry your hands or whatever, that could work as well.
Yeah. I just wanted to put in a plug too for last year's cookie season rewards, because I don't think a lot of girls realized what that bandana was that you got as a reward. It is a cooling bandana. And let me tell you, girls, as someone that's over 55, it really does work as a cooling bandana. So it's going to be hot there. It is something you're probably going to want to pack. And it'll, you can put it right around your neck, but you could also use that as a towel.
Yep,
to dry
100%.
off, or a napkin, or
Yep, and a lot of group leaders have put in their on their packing list that they recommend a bandana too, because it packs really nicely and easily. Can you see these 7 travel necessities for Japan? Can you see that shared? Okay, so I'm going to send you links to this website. I just found it. It's these 2 folks. I'm going to play a video of them shortly as well. They have been traveling and living in Japan for a very long time. So they've got some really great articles here. Their travel necessities. They talk about what kinds of luggage they bring. Anything larger than 25 inches will be difficult to maneuver in crowds. That's on there. So they show you like different things that they have brought with them, which is really, really handy. Backpack, day pack, etc. So I'm going to send this link to you so you can sort of cruise around their website. I hate those things. Do you see that picture right there with like the strappies on your neck? Oh, they're so uncomfortable.
I don't like them either.
Yuck. Don't bring that unless you really love them. Don't make this your first trip with that kind of backpack, because it'll dig into your shoulders. You don't want that. So Rail Pass, we don't have to worry about. In a second here, I'm going to talk about the pocket Wi-Fi situation, because I've been looking into that a little bit more. And for those of you who work at council, it's a MiFi essentially, that you can rent at the airport, use the whole time that you're there, and then return to the airport when you're done. And it's amazing.
Liz, about the oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
It was what you were talking about just before that.
I don't even know. I don't remember.
Me either. Okay.
I'm sure it'll come to you.
It will.
Right, so I'm going to stop sharing that again. I'm going to go back to my thing. Anybody have anything they want to say as we're talking about these things? I want to make sure that I'm not just kind of talking at you. Questions, comments, concerns, you can throw them in the chat as well as we go.
Oh, I know what it was. The backpack. Are we getting the EF back to back?
Yes.
Okay. Have you used them before? Is it something that's good for a date back?
Yeah.
Or should we bring our own?
Yep, it's a backpack. It is got a couple of pockets. It has some nice inner pockets as well. It has a meshy part where you can put a water bottle. It's pretty good. I didn't use it the last time I went, only because I have a favorite backpack that I'm like intimately like, I know where all the pockets and stuff are, and like, it's your backpack. So I didn't use it, but a lot of the girls did, and they loved it. It was great. So you are going to be getting an EF Tours backpack before the trip. And we're also at the end of this call going to talk about our June meeting, which hopefully we want to make a fun in-person kind of meeting. We were talking about maybe meeting at Hoover, because it's kind of in the middle of everywhere. So we'll chat about that towards the end of the call. So more to come on that. So anyways, I have, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. Medications are a big part of some of the things that I've been looking into for Japan. And we have talked about this a little bit before. Certain medications are strictly prohibited in Japan. And just for, the ones that I was able to find, anything that includes like a CBD or a THC kind of scenario. And I know a lot of people use like CBD oil if they have like arthritis or muscle pain and things like that. So please don't bring that with you. I've heard on some websites that melatonin is also prohibited, but I don't know. I haven't confirmed that. So if you typically use melatonin for sleep, maybe don't bring it this time around. And then some medications for ADD and ADHD, and specifically, I know that Adderall is not allowed in the country. So there's a whole list. I'm going to give you this website so that you can check it. And if you use any kind of like a mood enhancing or a mood changing medication for depression, anxiety, things like that, I'm going to encourage you. I will ask you to email this email address. It's yakkan@mhlw.go.jp. They respond within 48 hours typically. You can say, hello, I'm coming to Japan in July. Here are the medications that I take. Will there be any problems? And they will immediately tell you if you can't bring any medications into the country. I do not want to know your medications. This is not a HIPAA call. Please don't tell me your medications on this call right now. And it's a personal thing for you. So unless there's something that I really need to know, for example, if you need an EpiPen, I really should probably need to know that. But if it's a medication that you're just taking because you have anxiety and that's just what you do, I don't really need to know that. I just want to make sure that you can bring it with you. I don't want anyone going on a medication vacation on this trip. I want you to be able to enjoy the trip as much as you can. And if you're going off medications because you're nervous about it, you're not going to be enjoying this trip. Okay. So if you have medication questions, please email that yakin@MHLW, and that's the Japanese Ministry of Health. And they are used to tourists emailing them. If it's something that's prohibited, they're going to send you a paperwork, and you can fill it out. And then once they get the paperwork back, they'll let you know if you can bring your medication. From what I can tell, this is another Facebook comment here that I copied and pasted. Asked about over the counter because I had heard that Advil and Tylenol weren't allowed, but they are. As long as you're not bringing like a Costco jug of Advil with you on the plane, you are perfectly fine to bring over the counter things like Advil, Tylenol, stuff like that. The things that you cannot bring though are things like Sudafed. Sudafed is banned in Japan because of its ingredients. There's some nasal like Afrin kind of sprays for your nose for allergies that are banned as well. So if you have questions, if you take those things, like a Sudafed, I maybe would have packed it, but I don't really need it, so I don't have to pack it. There's other things that I could pack instead of Sudafed for like allergies or congestion or whatever. So really, I think with regards to medication, if you don't need it, maybe don't bring it. I typically bring medications for girls on trips, over-the-counter stuff like, Dramamine sometimes and Tylenol, Advil, et cetera. I'm probably not going to do that this time around. I'm going to say medications, any medications you need, you yourself have to bring, because I also want to make sure that I get into Japan without any troubles. And if I am starting to bring in a ton of medication that's unnecessary, that could be problematic. So any questions? I can see in the chat, there's some comments here. Oh, good, Christina. Thank you for putting that in.
Yeah, I made a typo the first time, so I'm trying to delete that one and have the fixed one. So.
Yep. And ibuprofen and Midol are good. I also, speaking of Midol, I have read that feminine hygiene products like tampons and pads are a little bit different in Japan. And so if you have a brand or a kind that you really like, and you're not sure maybe if you're going to get your period on the trip or not, maybe just bring them anyways, because sometimes stress and like a change of routine can bring on a period when you're not expecting it. So if it's anytime like maybe around when you typically get it, you should probably prepare and just bring stuff anyways, so that you have things that you're familiar with that you use at home. I typically bring extra tampons and pads with me anyways, and since they're not medication, I will have extras with me. But Midol and Tylenol, Advil, those things are all fine. If you can put them and keep them in their own little package, like I will go to the dollar store and just buy like the little Advil thing that has like 8 Advils in it, but it says Advil on the package. That's what I'm going to bring. And I usually bring like a baggie full of random medications and pills, because the yellow ones are my allergy pills and the purple ones are my Advil, and I know the difference. I don't think that's going to fly in Japan. So the more things that you can put in its original packaging, the better. And specifically, if you have prescription medication, it has to be in its original package. You cannot bring more than 1 month of the supply with you. And ideally, you will have that piece of paper from the doctor that says it belongs to you and you can take it. Okay. So if you have any questions or concerns, can I copy this? I think I can. Hold on. I'll put this in the chat too, so you can see. I tried to go on there. It's like a 15-page like PDF, and it's kind of difficult to understand. And like one sentence says no Advil, and then the next sentence is like, but Advil's fine. So probably err on the side of caution and email with your prescription medication, just so that you know. Any questions, comments, concerns about the medication? It's all over the board. Some people say, oh, no one ever checked it, no one ever looked, and I brought Advil and they never even asked me. Some people really they're going through bags and they're looking and they're matching paperwork and they're matching bottles and all the things. So it really depends, but better safe than sorry. Okay. Questions, concerns? All right, very good. Like I said,
Liz,
yep, go
Liz,
ahead.
I'm sorry, if an adult does not receive or cannot find the email for the background check, who should they contact? What should they do?
They should contact EF Tours directly. So I would call the customer service line that's there in your account. If you don't get a hold of anyone, or if that's not if they put you on hold or whatever, email me and let me know, and I will send it right to my tour consultant.
Okay.
All right. Anything else about meds?
I did, one person made a comment, and if no one saw it, if you're concerned about what you may or may not be able to use while you're in Japan, I would send that email quickly so that you can follow back up and have a conversation with your doctor, your physician, your prescribing doctor. And that way you can have that conversation with them too, just to see if there's something that you can alternate.
Yes. So Japan, their restrictions are mostly around controlled substances. So, and some ADH and ADD medications are controlled substances, like I said, like Adderall. It's not going to be let in. But if your doctor can put you on an alternative and start you now so that you get used to it by the time we go, that would be helpful. So thank you, Christina, for that very much. Like I said,
Well, that's
go ahead.
pretty interesting. I wonder what they give their ADHD kids in Japan.
There's alternatives. There are definitely alternatives to those narcotic medications, but they're a little bit less used, I think, in the U.S. and in Western.
Yeah.
It could also be the same thing. They just don't want it brought in because then it can be more dangerous.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly right. I can't see who said that. But yeah, that's they don't want you coming in with a whole bunch of drugs and
Right.
Yep. And of course, anything that's illegal here is definitely illegal there. So don't bring that either.
Liz, I had a question too about the TSA.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I read it on EF's and something I read. I don't know what I read, but I know that I can get TSA for free through my job, but it costs money to get anybody else on it. Is that a recommendation?
I am going to recommend doing that, but I don't think it costs money.
Okay.
It's an app that you can download so that you can sort of skip the line. I recall being at JFK coming back from Greece, and it would have been helpful, but I couldn't download it in the airport because Wi-Fi there was not great.
Okay. Well, I heard you couldn't use that on it wasn't good on international.
I think I've got to look into that a little bit more. I'm not even seeing it on my phone. I don't know what I did with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look into that. There's a TSA. It's not a TSA pre-check. It's like an international. There's something else. You put your passport information into it. It seems like it would be more helpful. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's called the Mobile Passport Control. And it's an official app of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And they do recommend that you download this app to your phone because it can help you get through the TSA security checks.
Okay.
It's a lot. So I downloaded it, and it's to come back into the US, right? So you're not going to be using it to get into Japan. It's when we return from the United States. So on my way back from Paris the last time, I was at JFK. I had a 2-hour layover. There was one person working at the TSA check in the international gate, and the line was like 200 people long. I thought I was not going to make my connecting flight. I was in that line for 2 hours. But they said if I had this app, that there was one person doing the app thing, and there was one person checking everybody else through the airport. So it's that into the USA from an international flight, and it's really helpful. So you can't see
Okay.
that.
Can I jump in?
Yep, go ahead.
The TSA pre-approval does cost money, and it takes about 2 to 4 weeks with the kids. The pre-check comes back very quickly, and that's how you jump the lines, and that's jumping the lines to get out of the United States. Getting out of Japan and coming back to the United States, you have to have the other one that's international, and that one has a wait period of 12 to 18 months. So I haven't even bothered even applying for that one.
Okay.
Right.
Because it's astronomical. I'm not sure what the app is that you're talking about, because there was nothing in my travels amongst the like 8 different countries I was just in, even would have accepted that.
Yeah, so this is the thing that I was standing in line for 2 hours, and I did the QR code of it, and I was like, I wish I had this thing. And every TSA check person was like, too bad you didn't download the app, you'd be through by now. So anyway, so
But that's to get back into the US.
that's to
Liz,
get
you're
back
saying.
into the US. Yep.
That's not country to country.
Right. Not country to country.
And the minors can use that app?
Right. So I didn't want to bring this up tonight because I don't have these answers, because I don't know what airline we're flying. I have no idea what airline we're flying. I don't know what gate we're going out of. I don't even know what airport we're flying out of. Syracuse. We could be literally going anywhere in the world, and I don't have those answers. So I don't want to have this conversation right now because I don't have the right answers for you, and I don't want to mislead you. So I do appreciate the information about the apps. I will give you more information about those and downloading them when I get our flight information.
My only question about the TSA is, did it give you a known traveler number?
I haven't gotten that far into the app yet.
Because when you actually have a TSA number, they give you a known traveler number, which you add to your flights, which allows you to skip the lines.
So we're not going to be skipping lines because there's like 60 of us. So what's going to happen is we're gonna go to the airport all together, and it's likely they're probably going to open like a person for us, which is what happened when we went to Italy and Greece. So I wouldn't worry about skipping lines or apps or anything right now. I don't have enough information to give you at this point. So don't worry about that stuff. You have other things to worry about.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. More to come. And if there are apps that are going to be helpful, I will 100% give you the app to download, because man, airports are a little bit tricky to navigate sometimes, definitely. So thank you all for the information. And if you want to email me offline and like give me your suggestions and tell me, feel free to email me too. That would be helpful. Okay, so that's medication. That's medication. When in doubt, email. So next up is money. I know there was a lot of questions about money and how do we do money? What are all the money things? So you can probably still see this here. I'm going to play, I think I need to see about this guy right here. Let me see. Hold on one second. Oh, what's it playing? Maybe my pocket Wi-Fi. So I think in previous conversations, I was like, you know, I think I have like an AT&T like plan that's international and that sort of thing, which is okay. But the more I'm researching, the more I'm finding that like Wi-Fi in the air, like free Wi-Fi, like connectivity is not as fast as we're used to having it happen in Japan. And so the recommendation is these pocket Wi-Fis. They're small, they're like this big, and they're your own personal hotspot that you carry around with you. You can rent them from the airport. You can do it ahead of time if you want to do it online, and it will be at the airport when you arrive. You take it with you and you pop it in this little box at the end of our trip, and it goes back to wherever it came from. And you have your own Wi-Fi for the entire trip. I'm going to play this little quick video here for you to see it, just to give you an FYI, because we all have different plans and that sort of thing. Where am I? Always with the singing and the playing. There we go. Here it is. And I've probably got to share my sound too, right?
Questions about traveling Japan. Today's question is, should I get a pocket Wi-Fi in Japan?
And the answer is yes. This is our pocket Wi-Fi. Pocket Wi-Fi is so important for Japan that we actually bought our own.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Wi-Fi availability in Japan. What is a pocket Wi-Fi, including internet speed, battery life, and number of devices, cost, and where to rent.
Okay, let's start with Wi-Fi availability in Japan. The first thing I want to mention is hotels. Hotels are going to be your best source of reliable Wi-Fi. The connectivity in the hotels is going to be the best, and pretty much every hotel in Japan has free Wi-Fi available for people who are staying in the hotel.
But once you leave the hotel, this is when things get a little bit spotty. The major sightseeing areas, the JR train stations, and even some JR trains do have Wi-Fi these days. But most of these areas require a registration. And there's not a universal registration. So that means that for each place that you're at, you need to fill out a separate registration form. And it's not really as simple as just putting in your name and email address and clicking the button. You not only have to put in your name and email address, but then you need to confirm it. You get an email sent to you and you have to confirm it. And this takes some time. And then a lot of times you're limited to only 1 hour of internet usage, and then you're booted off and you can register again or change locations.
And you can also connect at some cafes and Starbucks, but the same thing applies. You have to do the registration, and sometimes you get booted off and you got to connect again. It's really not very reliable. It's reliable enough, but it gets a little frustrating.
If you just want to do a couple of things on the internet, then it works.
Right.
But if you're trying to walk around town, walking down the streets and the alleys, and you're looking for a restaurant or somewhere that you want to go, you're not going to be able to use Google Maps.
Which brings me to walking around town. So what we have is we have T-Mobile, and with T-Mobile, we get free 2G while we're in Japan. And the speed of the 2G is not very fast. And so when we're walking around and I'm trying to access Google Maps, it just won't load. And that can get very frustrating, especially if you're trying to find, like Becky said, a restaurant or a place where you're going to go sightseeing, and the map just will not load. The frustration just piles up.
Yeah, and we've also had people on our tours that use the 2G network that was free with T-Mobile. And they also had a lot of frustration. They couldn't even use WhatsApp, or just trying to keep in touch with people was impossible with that slow of a speed.
Right. So what is a pocket Wi-Fi? Well, a pocket Wi-Fi is basically a portable router that uses a SIM card inside of it to connect to the internet. It's very fast. It's your personal hotspot that you can carry around with you. And it's great for accessing Google Maps. You can use it on trains, and you can use it pretty much everywhere in Japan that you want to connect to the internet. I leave mine on all the time, and I just connect freely, and it's as if I'm on my network back home. You don't have to worry about finding Wi-Fi areas and doing the long process of registering and having a limited amount of time that you're on it.
As for internet speed, most of the pocket Wi-Fi in Japan have very high internet speeds and unlimited data. So you can use it as much as you want all day long. The battery lasts pretty much all day. Most of the pocket Wi-Fi lasts from about 8 to 10 hours. So that'll be all day of your sightseeing. And then you can charge it at night. It usually takes about 3 hours to charge.
Okay, let's talk about number of devices. The great thing about having this pocket Wi-Fi is that it's basically a mobile router, and you can connect all your devices to it. If you're traveling with a family, it's great because you can connect up to 5 devices at one time. So you can connect your phone, your iPad, your computer, and just carry it around with you, and everyone in the family can be connected and do everything that they need to do on the internet.
Okay, so next, let's talk about cost. You can rent the pocket Wi-Fi on a daily basis. And there's a lot of different companies that you can get them from online. They are about $10 a day on average. So a 1 week rental will be about $75 to $80. and a 2-week rental runs from about $100 to $150. Now, if you compare this to international roaming rates, it's actually quite inexpensive. For example, if you have AT&T or Verizon, they usually charge about $10 per day per phone for international roaming. If you are traveling for a week, then that's about $70 to $80, but that's only for one phone. And with the pocket Wi-Fi, you can connect up to 5 devices. So that means if you're traveling with a partner or your family, then everybody can connect for that same price.
So where do you rent the pocket Wi-Fi? Well, there are several websites online that you can rent a pocket Wi-Fi from. And the key search that you want to do is pocket Wi-Fi. And when you get to Japan, you can pick your Wi-Fi up at the airport. It's seamless, it's easy, and once you pick it up, you're ready to go and you're online.
And we do recommend that you reserve it in advance online because I've heard stories of people who have gotten to the airport and they have been sold out of the pocket Wi-Fi. So it's best to reserve it in advance. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like.
All right, so that is an option. When I went to Europe this past summer, it was $10 a day for Verizon. So every time I turned on my phone in the morning, they automatically charged me $10, and then same for the next day. So it did cost me about $120, $130 or so to connect to my phone every day that I was, not every day, but like for the duration of my trip. So I'm going to look into this a little bit more. Because I want to make sure that we all can connect with each other. And like I said, we all have different kinds of phones and different kinds of plans and that sort of thing. So I'm going to look into these pocket Wi-Fis a little bit more. And if it's appropriate for us to maybe rent a couple of them for our groups and just share, especially if it can be up to 5 people on one device, might be the best way to go. So more to come on that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone had options regarding being able to connect and keep in touch, especially if we're splitting up, doing sightseeing and things like that. I need to know where you are and how to get in touch with you, and you need to know how to get back to us. So just throw that out there.
When you're looking into that, can you see if there's the prices for purchasing the Wi-Fi seem to be approximately what that rental would be over there? So is it something that we'd be able to purchase in advance and bring it on the plane so we don't have to worry about the reservation and whether it's there for us or not?
That could be. Yep, I will look into that as well. Absolutely. All right. So let me see, where am I at? So that's a little bit about Wi-Fi. If you have a plan that's on your phone right now that you're comfortable with, I personally don't know if my phone is going to do anything in Japan. I have to look into it. Europe is fine, but Japan's a different story, I think. So I was just assuming like I'll go on the Wi-Fi, but it doesn't sound like that's the thing, maybe. So we'll look into that a little bit more and we'll get back to you about that too. So back to my list. I've got some money situations that I'm thinking about here. Let me share my screen just real quick. Do I need to share my screen? Yes, I do. There we go. So for money, the question was, how much do you recommend bringing in cash? And this is really also going to be a personal choice. I'm going to give you some options and some things to think about. Today, I ordered $300 US dollars worth of yen from Bank of America, which is where I have my accounts. And I'm just paying for shipping, it looks like, and a not a terrible exchange rate. I do this because I just feel comfortable having the yen in my hand as the group leader. As a traveler, you don't necessarily need to do that. I just want to make sure that just in case I'm going to. So next meeting, I'll be able to show you yen and what it looks like. And we'll talk a little bit more about the actual money when I get some in my hands. But you do have a couple of options. You can take a debit card with you and you can use that debit card to take out money at ATMs all over Japan. So there are ATMs in the airports, there's ATMs in every 7-Eleven, they're all over the place. They're easily accessible. The trick is to make sure that your ATM card will be able to take money out for you while you're there. So that's a conversation that you're going to have to use with your bank to make sure that if you use it in Japan, A of all, they're not going to cancel it because why are you in Japan? And B of all, that you're actually going to be able to get money out of it. I belong to Salve Bank, which is local. It's not like a Bank of America or whatever. And I have no idea if they're going to be cool with me using my debit card in Japan. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to ask them just to make sure. I'm also going to tell them that I'm going to be in Japan from July 10th through the 20th so that when they see it, they're not going to flag it. The same couple oh, go ahead.
I did ask at our bank because my daughter is traveling without a parent, and they said that under the age of 15, they are not allowed to have a debit card because in the US you have to be responsible for payment. And they said they don't start issuing debit cards until 15. So just keep that in mind for any girls that are traveling without a parent.
Yep, that's a good point. I'm going to say that that is a conversation you should definitely have with your bank. What bank are you with, Sharon?
MBT?
MBT, okay. Okay, yep, so I don't have any idea. Even my own bank, I've got to research a little bit more to see. But I did also see from my good friends Josh and Becky, the website we were just on, that they're using something called a Wise card for transferring funds. It is a MasterCard. It's wherever MasterCard is accepted, but it's a debit card and it does exchange rates automatically. It's purposefully for international travel. And it's accepted where credit cards are accepted, but you can also use it at ATMs. So I just wanted to, let me see if I can bring this up here and show you. Is there a video or is it just a Wise debit card? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna.
But Liz,
yes.
This is Shorting. I saw on the EF website that they have a debit card for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I saw that too.
So someone needs to investigate that. I think if you have a girl going, then they're free, a free debit card that they could EF.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Chase also has that. A lot of places will do a debit card for young people. It just has to be connected to the parent so that the parent is there's an adult taking ownership of it.
Yep.
Even if like it's an extra card on the account. So again, I think what Liz was saying about talking to your own bank is probably a good idea because different banks might have different rules about that. And there's definitely options out there.
Yes, and I didn't know that EF Tours had their own, so that's good. We'll look into that.
Yeah.
This is, if you can see this, I shared the this Wise debit card for travel. This is something that I just was researching today. There's him with his Wise card, yay. But it's a debit card. It transfers into the account that's attached to that card as well. It's kind of like I feel like it's like a Burn Dairy card, right? If you have a Burn Dairy card, it takes money out of your debit, like it's a debit card at Burn Dairy, but you get the gas for a couple of cents off or whatever. But the thing about this card is that it transfers the money at the current exchange rate. Which I thought was interesting. So this is just one thing. If you are thinking about getting a debit card specifically for this, you certainly can look into it. Multi-currency, if you plan to travel in the future to other countries, other currencies, it might be something to just get and keep. Much like a bank app, you can see how much money you've spent and how much you have left through this app. So that's a great thing as well. And I think that you can add money to it. So if your person is traveling and they're like, oh my gosh, I only have $5 left, you as the parent can upload money into the Wise account, and then your kiddo will have it on their card or on their phone app, like in real time. So that's important to keep in mind as well. So if you want to check this out, I'll put the links in the email and on the Facebook page after. And then I'll also check into the EF card as well. So you also as a parent at home can monitor your child's spending while they're away because you share the account, you share the app with this Wise card. So just gonna go ahead and share that with you and you can make your own choices as a family with regards to your debit card. So I have learned from folks that are there now that it's mostly a mix of cash and credit. So if you're in like a rural area, if you're, want to get street food or you see souvenir shops, little souvenir shops run by like a mom and pop souvenir kind of person, they probably won't take a card. You're going to want cash for that kind of thing. The same for like lunches. If you're on the street and there's a street food place that's not like a Starbucks or a real restaurant or whatever, you might want to have cash for that. So However you get it, though, I'm not really sure what the best practice is. I think that's probably going to have to be a conversation with you and your kiddo as to how they're going to get the cash monies. I can tell you that we will be doing this at the airport. So anyone that wants to get airport money out at the ATM when we get there, excuse me, or exchange money at the airport, we will make time for that. So just keep that in mind. How long does it take for money exchange? When you're there, it happens instantaneously. My yen are actually getting shipped to my house on like Tuesday, and I ordered them today. So it doesn't take a long time. So you have time to do it. All right. Any other questions about that? Oh, I did put in that Word document the exchange rate, but it changes. It changes all the time. So
Liz, how much did they charge you for your yen? Was it $15?
Bank of America?
Well, I don't know. I called because I was one of the ones that looked, and my bank charges. I asked to convert $400.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it would cost me about $15.
I think it cost me. I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't know because it's like on hold in my account right now because they haven't shipped them. So
Okay.
I can update. I'm sure it's, I don't know.
Probably right around the same.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You might still be able to get currencies at AAA.
Yes, that could be a thing too. I don't know, is the AAA still on Washington C Street out there? You might have a AAA near you. I wonder if you can order it online.
AAA and Oneana said they only need 72 hours to get yen.
That's awesome. Okay, AAA.
Yeah,
option two.
There's a AAA in Camillus. Yeah.
Yay. All right, there we go. Perfect. So there are some options for you. And like I said, the exchange rate probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you. Right now, $1 US equals about $132 Japanese yen. I don't know, I'm gonna have to work on the maths before we go so I can have a better handle. It was nice with the euro because it's like a 1-to-1 ratio right now, but it's not the case with Japanese yen.
Yeah. The scary thing in Japan is when you look at a price tag and it's going to say 2,700 yen or something, the kids are 27,000. You're going to be like, what?
Yep.
What?
So, it'll be all part of the fun experience. I did read though that you should bring a change purse because much like Europe, they use euros. They have, or in Canada, if you've been to Canada before, coins are dollars, and they have a $5 coin that's in yen. So if you're getting change back, you're going to end up with a lot of coins. I have a lot of euros that are coins, loonies and toonies. If you've been to Canada before, I have a bunch of those too. So make sure to bring a change purse in order to keep, or a pouch, a little Ziploc, a Ziploc baggie even would work, to keep loose change in, because some of those coins are going to be worth $3, $4, $5, which you're not going to want to lose.
And you want to try to spend them before you come home.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you got to pay to convert them back.
Yep, that's right. So probably think about the least amount of money that you're going to need while you're there and go with that one. The last thing I will mention is that I do need tip money. So tip money was not included in your price of the trip. And typically for tip money, I'm going to share my screen one last time for you so you can see it. Typically, it'll be about $100. So the way that it breaks down is that it's about $5 per day per person for our tour director, and that's going to be the person that stays with us the whole time. For local tour guides, for example, if we go to the deer park and there's a person who works at the deer park and they show us around and give us information and give us the deer crackers and all that jazz, that's a local tour guide, and that's $1, $2 per person per tour. And then typically we end up paying the bus drivers. So that's like $2 to $3 a day per person for bus drivers. So I will collect this before we leave. And I'm going to figure out how to pay all these people, probably the tour guides and the bus drivers in cash monies. I'm kind of hoping our tour director has like a Venmo or something. I don't know if that's a thing in Japan. Apple Pay. because it's going to be lots of yen that we'll be having to carry around. I'm also going to bring like little thank you cards and things like that for them too, you know, if we want to do that while we're there. So I just wanted to give you a heads up, $10 per day per traveler. So that works out to about $100. And last but not least, I'm hoping that through digital cookie sales from last year and some digital cookie sales and other things that we've been doing throughout this past year, 2 years of fundraising, that I can lower that cost for everyone. So that's the estimate right now. I'm hoping it will be lower over the next month, and I should have that final number to you in May. It's not going to be any higher than 100, but fingers crossed that it's going to be lower than $100 for tips per person for the trip. Does that make sense? All right, very good. Ooh, that was a lot of information, huh? Yep. How's everybody feeling? Okay? Better? Worse?
Excited.
Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
All right, I'm going to stop my share here.
I have another question.
Sure.
Power strips. I know, like on some, what do you think about I know that we're going to be in most hotels. Do they have enough where we can plug in 2 phones and their ear pads or whatever they're called, you guys, and the Wi-Fi thing and our power banks?
Yes, I don't think you're going to need to bring a power strip.
Okay, good.
I think you should be good with plugs. The thing about Japanese plugs is that they're 2-prong. So if you know you're bringing something with a 3-prong, you're going to need an adapter. You can get them at like Home Depot. They're like $3. They're really cheap. But most Japanese outlets have 2 prongs. So your iPhone charger is 2-pronged. So you're fine. Your earpod chargers, 2-prong, you're good to go. It's things like a hair dryer, if you're going to bring a hair dryer, which I don't even bother doing that because it's going to be so humid that your hair is not going to dry anyways. So don't bother with that. I can't even think of other things that might be 3-pronged that you would need. Hair dryer. Usually.
Yeah, vacuum. We're not going to need
vacuum,
that.
Yeah, right. Your dustbuster. Yeah, you're not going to bring any of that stuff. So you're just going to need the 2-prong thing.
Maybe your laptop. I don't know why anybody would bring it.
We're doing work on this trip. No laptops.
Good.
Yeah, but your iPhone, your Samsung, your Android, all of those things, as long as the charger is 2-prong, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yep. Good call. Good call. What else? Any questions, comments, any other concerns? I know there's probably a lot of concerns, but we're going to keep chipping away at them, and I'm going to find you all the answers that I can. Some of this is going to be a super fun adventure, and we're going to learn as we go, and we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be amazing. And we're going to roll with it, and we're going to be flexible, and we're going to have the best time ever. But some of it we can prepare ahead of time. Like, for example, your medications. Definitely email about the medications. Some of this stuff, yeah, it's all going to be good.
Now, Liz, I know you put that medication thing in the chat. Will you email that to us too?
Yes, I will. Along with, even though I'm feeling like I didn't email you did I email the YouTube video last time? I think I did. Did I? I can't remember. Okay, good. Yes,
you emailed it twice.
Sorry. The recording and the word thing and the links and all the stuff, I'll email that to you so that you all have it. Any other questions?
Liz, we had a question I heard twice yesterday.
Oh, okay.
People were asking about whether or not they needed to bring their vest, like a part of their uniform or anything with them.
I don't know. That's a good question. What do we all think?
I said I wouldn't want to take up the packing space. But
the vests also, I mean, the fabric of those is thick, and I think that over a shirt is going to be very uncomfortable in that heat that we keep hearing about.
Yep, sounds good to me. Okay, so it sounds like, unless anyone has any concern, you know what? If you want to bring
thank you.
Pen,
No, we have some
not
notes,
required.
yeah.
It's not required. Okay, but that does actually bring up a good other conversation that I heard yesterday. I know that some folks at the cookie booth were talking about whether or not we should make a T-shirt for our Japan trip. And have a super fun, cool T-shirt made.
I think we should.
That idea.
I thought we could do it I mean, it's kind of you can't really do it as a fundraiser, but I was thinking if you did do it as a fundraiser, you could take the money off the tips. But there's no sense of doing that because we'll just take the money off the tip. You know what I mean? Buy the t-shirt cheaper or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think Laura, I don't know if Laura's on the call. Ellen, Laura, there we go. Yeah, I agree, Elliot. Laura was at the booth yesterday and was mentioning that she thinks that it would be cool if we had one of you all draw a design and put it on the t-shirt, like
that would be awesome.
You know, anime or something, some sort of cool thing that we all could put on a shirt and wear so we can identify each other in airports and stuff. Maybe we could wear it like on airport days so we know where each other are.
The
Disney
airport
day. Days and the Disney day.
Yes. That is the smartest idea ever. We should have a t-shirt so that we could wear it on Disney Day.
I think we should have two t-shirts, one for Disney and one for airport day.
What do you think, Lauren?
Isn't retail working on getting some kind of a t-shirt transfer type machine going to?
Maybe we could be their first customers.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I have a friend that has that too, so.
Well, this is like an industrial strength type thing he was talking about, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll be your homework for tonight, okay? If you are an artist.
Oh, could the shirt be a quick dry? Just so you know, that could change how it
gets on there, yeah. But, okay, we'll worry about the type of shirt later. But if you are an artist, or even if you're not an artist and you would like to try your hand at creating a t-shirt design for us to wear, do it this month. Because I think if we have it done and decided on by like May, we'll have plenty of time to order it. So if you want to create a t-shirt and put it up, we'll maybe take a blind vote on some t-shirt designs and we'll all vote for it and we'll decide whoever gets the most votes we'll have as our t-shirt. And we'll do it that way. Does that sound okay?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're all part of the Japanese travel troupe. Can the kids, when they do up their designs, post it so we can all see them?
Oh, on the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page, yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yep. Yep. So post your design on the Facebook page. If you're not part of the group, you should join. But if you don't want to, that's okay. You can always email it to me as well. And then I'll post the designs again in the May meeting and we'll vote. We'll take a vote at the May meeting. Does that sound good? Oh, excuse me. All right. I know it's 8:08. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you go. The one other thing that I'm going to send out with the email with all this information is a doodle poll for an in-person meeting. So if you could go on the doodle poll and fill it in and just let us know when you might be able to meet in person at Hoover. I think Hoover in Tully, New York is going to be our best bet because it's in the middle. I'll send out dates and times and we'll decide when the most number of people can meet as a whole. Because it'd be nice to see you, all you off-camera folks, and we'll make it so that we can pass out backpacks and t-shirts and anything else that you all need. We'll maybe eat some sushi and get to know each other a little bit and be ready to go, okay? There's a lot of information tonight. Thank you all for sticking with me. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me or Christina, Lauren, anybody, any of the chaperones that are on the call. Feel free to email us. We will find the answers for you. Yes, and we will collect tips in June as well. That's right. We'll find the answers for you, and that's it. Everyone good to go?
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
Do you have Venmo for the tips, or do you want us to hold off right now?
Yeah, hold off right now because I think that I'm not sure what that final number is going to be.
Okay.
Once digital cookie and like the cookie sales for this season are over, because sometimes we have people that are like, hey, I want to buy X number of cookies from the travel troupe, and they will just purchase from the travel troupe, and that money goes into the pot, into your pot. So I don't know what that number is going to be until we have the final payments in for cookies, which is what, like April, end of April, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My financial report for my travel troupe.
due May 31.
May 31st? Oh man, I'll have it in way before then. All right. So thank you all for your patience tonight. 99 days. Woo, 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 woo. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, email us and we will see you next month. Same bat channel, same bat Zoom meeting. Bye. Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye, everybody.